I'm gonna help you address the biggest mistake you're making now in Metaphor ReFantazio. Part of it is just lack of public resources available for Metaphor, but that's okay because that's what I'm here for. I've made infographics showing all of the abilities and royal virtue requirements for each follower to help you hit their max social link level. Not taking advantage of some of these abilities is gonna be a huge mistake, but now you'll know what they are, their requirements, and what you can do to prepare to unlock them. I've redacted a few things to prevent any major spoilers, but if you're someone who doesn't want the identity revealed of all of the followers, now would be the time to click off of this video. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read every ability description to you. I'm just going to show you the graphics and then go over the few abilities that I want to highlight that I think are going to be standout abilities from each follower. So we're going to open up with Stroll, and the ones that I want to highlight are going to be rank 2, 6, and 8. Now, with rank 2 Undaunted Spirit, when you attack a human type monster, Stroll is going to get a crit rate increase, and that's going to increase even more with level 8. And now my thoughts on why I think this is going to be a strong ability is because the way that things are shaping up, and this is just a prediction, I feel like human type monsters are going to play a massive role when it comes to actually beating the game. And so giving Stroll increased crit rate I think is going to come in handy when it comes to finishing out the game. Now rank 6 Battle Hypnosis is something that all of the playable characters are going to have. So I'm not going to repeat it beyond this point, but it's going to allow you to gain experience at the normal rate, even if that character is in the party reserve and not in the actual active party. Now, Stroll is one of the characters that you can get rank 8 pretty early, but what I really want to highlight, and honestly the inspiration of this entire video, is to complete rank 6, you have to finish the quest A Noble's Legacy, and there's going to come a point where you have to find a specific merchant. And I spent 2 hours looking for this clown, and I could not find him before I was like, you know what, I have to move on. And it turns out that if you don't have level 3 imagination, that merchant is not going to appear. So I want to save you from wasting your time trying to find this merchant, especially if you don't have the requirements. You're just going to be throwing away time that you can't get back. The merchant is not available unless you have level 3 imagination. Now, I mentioned earlier that I did redact a few things, and so what I will say in regards to that is I really recommend you get all of the playable characters to rank 8 because you will be rewarded for doing that. Like all of the things that apply to all the playable characters, I'm going to refer to it here and I'm not going to bring it up again for the rest of the video. The next follower abilities we're going to get into is going to be Maria, and the two that I want to highlight are going to be rank 4 and rank 7. At rank 4 you have speed cooking, and with this, time won't elapse while you're cooking in the Gauntlet Runner's kitchen. So if you try and cook prior to this, it's going to take a bit of your time. You're going to go from afternoon to nighttime, but once you get this to rank 4, you're able to cook without that happening. And then at rank 7, Burning Purpose, you're going to get a significant increase when it comes to your post-battle experience. So this is going to allow you to level up your characters a lot faster when you invest and get this to rank 7 and unlock that Burning Purpose. Now, when it comes to Maria, she does have a lot of requirements, so I put them in the rankings as opposed to the bottom. But you're going to need to get several drawings that you get from exploring on your Gauntlet Runner, as well as have level 2 tolerance for the beginning, level 4 tolerance for rank 7, and so on and so forth. And so this is something that you're going to have to progress with your journey because you do have to be exploring on your Gauntlet Runner and going the right path to make sure that you're getting copies of those paintings to give to Maria. But from a benefit standpoint, I feel like Maria has some of the strongest abilities of the followers, and I see that even at rank 4, you're going to get a post-battle increase of XP. So as soon as you unlock that speed cooking, you're going to get the XP as well, and that's just going to be increased even more once you get it to Burning Purpose at rank 7. The next follower abilities we're going to get in is going to be Brigitta, and I believe she has arguably one of the strongest abilities within the game to help significantly increase your playthrough. Now we're going to highlight majority of her abilities because that's how strong they are. So at rank 3, you're going to get Merchant's Rate, which is going to improve the exchange rate you get for Mag Exchange. In my tips and tricks video, I showed you how to pretty much farm unlimited money, and with Merchant's Enlightenment, you're going to get an even better rate when you're using that conversion to convert it to Mag. Now, this is going to be important because the deeper you get into the lineage tree of the archetypes, the more expensive they're going to be, and the more expensive they're going to be to get those abilities to be inherited on your other classes. Next, at rank 5, we have the Guild Discount, which is going to allow you to receive a discount for weapons, armor, and in the Igniter shop. And this is something that actually stacks with the Idle Day sale. So if you're shopping on Idle Day, you're going to be able to get 40% off all of the items you buy within those shops. So this is going to allow you to save even more money because those items can get a bit pricey, and now with this method, you're essentially going to be getting them for almost half off. And then with other ranks, she's going to be able to increase the items that you can buy in the Igniter shop. I believe the first tier is going to give you multi-target magic damage. So if I want fire that attacks multiple enemies, you're going to unlock those igniters. The second tier is going to give you different buffs, and I'm not fully sure what the final tier does off the top of my head. But the last ability that I want to highlight is going to be rank 7, the supply crate. And occasionally, as the day ends and another one begins, you're going to be able to get a crate sent to you with funds. Now, she does have a few requirements for your royal virtues, which I have listed at the bottom. That's going to be level 2 wisdom, level 3 courage, and level 4 courage to progress in the ranks with her. Now, a significant thing about highlighting with Brigitte is that you're not going to be able to reach rank 8 with her until significantly later in the game. So you can progress to rank 7 with her relatively quickly, but when it comes to rank 8, don't hold your breath thinking you're going to unlock it sooner you did something wrong. That's something that's only going to open up towards the end of the game. This is one of many Metaphor ReFantazio guides I've released. I do have a video where I go into 15 insane tips to help improve your playthrough of Metaphor. So if you want to check that out, I'll have it linked at the end of this video. But I really would appreciate it if you considered subscribing to the channel and helping me get this video to 100 likes. But enough of this break, let's get back into discussing the follower abilities. Next up, we have Katharina's follower abilities. And pretty much the only one that I want to highlight here, and she has several, but the thing that I think are worth highlighting the best is going to be the bounty bonus. And this is going to increase the amount of money you get for rewards when turning in bounties. And as you're playing the game, if you're trying to get as leveled up as possible and hit all the quests, I feel like you're definitely going to be taking on several bounties. And so being able to get bigger rewards for those is going to be very strong. So that way you're stacking more money with each of them that you turn in. Next up, we have Bardone. And the two that I want to highlight with him are going to be rank 4 as well as rank 6. With rank 4, we have Protective Formation, which is going to improve the defense of the entire party if they're all in the back row. So when we have those monsters that are charging up these strong attacks and we know that they're going to one-tap us, and we just moved all of our units to the back row and block, this is going to give us stronger blocking abilities because it's going to increase our defense. And I feel like buffs like this, where all you have to do is get the follower ability, and they're going to have these constant benefits within battle, are extremely strong. And this is pretty much a guaranteed defensive increase when you're in battle, as long as everyone's in the back row, and essentially for nothing, because you only have to get to rank 4 with them. And pretty much that same logic applies to his rank 6 ability, Rapid Swapper. And so at a later point in the game, you're going to have, I believe it's 7 characters, and you're going to have some in reserve. With Rapid Swapper, you're not going to have to exhaust an entire turn icon to swap in a character from reserve. It's going to change that cost to be half of a turn icon, so that way you can swap your party members in easier. Another thing, like I mentioned earlier, just for investing in him as a follower. And similar to Brigitte, he's also going to be able to send you a care package, which I believe contains different things from what C sends you. And also similar to her, you're not going to be able to max out his rank 8 as a follower until significantly later in the game. So don't worry about it if you get stuck at 7 and you can't progress further. Now let's talk about Hulkenberg, or she also goes by Best Girl, whichever you prefer works for me. But the ones that I want to highlight on her are going to be rank 2 and rank 8. So at rank 2, you're going to have a chance to step in and defend the protagonist when they're attacked at their weakness. And that's going to be a probability, but that probability is even further increased at rank 8 when you get special guard duty and essentially CYA if someone's attacking your weakness, so that way they don't get to exploit your weakness, deal that damage, and additionally get the extra turn icon because they exploited that. I think this is going to be a strong passive ability, and like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to invest in getting all of the playable characters to rank 8 anyways, and Hulkenberg, similar to Stroll, are going to be one of few that you can get to rank 8 significantly early within the game. For Juna, the abilities that I want to highlight are going to be rank 2 as well as rank 8, and they're essentially the same abilities, they just get increased even further once you max out her rank to rank 8, and that's going to be Triumphant Hymn. And after battle, all party members are going to recover a little MP, and this is going to increase significantly further once you get it to rank 8. Whatever stops you from having to spend all this time running around as a mage killing trash mobs to get your mana back to clear these dungeons in one day, to me is a massive bonus. And once you have her at rank 8, you're going to be able to take those rewards and cut down on the time that you're spending using the mage. For Alonso's follower abilities, I would say if we're just trying to highlight something, I have rank 4, which is going to increase the monetary reward you get for completing a quest. Everyone loves more money, but I feel like being able to farm it infinitely with the merchant archetype kind of gets rid of the need for this. And then we have rank 7, which I also think is pretty useful though, but you're going to be able to analyze data for all enemies with a few exceptions. Now, being able to know the weaknesses of bosses is strong, but if you're buying the information from the snitch, or not snitch, the informant within the inns before you go on these missions, that gives you the weakness in advance. So I feel like that kind of covers this ability as well. But I guess it could be a perk to get the weaknesses of some of the trash mobs as well. Now, when it comes to Heismay's abilities, me personally, I feel like all of them are kind of meh, but I think his storyline is fire enough for me to recommend you guys invest in him and get his rank up so that way you can experience it, as well as he is obviously a playable character. So I mentioned you want to get all of those to rank 8 anyways. And so the abilities, not so much while you're doing it. You're really just doing this to understand him more and for lore purposes. When it comes to Yufa's follower abilities, I feel like the same with Heismay, and that's going to be the same for the next few characters. They're all kind of meh. I guess being able to reduce the chances of you being afflicted with anxiety is pretty strong or pretty cool. I'm not going to say strong, but I mean, I guess. Same as Heismay, you're going to be investing in her really for the lore and the purposes of getting all of the playable characters to rank 8. Nuras's follower abilities are going to allow you to dish out damage to characters when you're fighting on the Gauntlet Runner. The rest of his abilities are kind of you get to increase the seeds that you get to plant in the plant harvest chamber, but in order to get his ranks to go up, you're going to have to get all of the relics. So every rank pretty much is going to require you to find the relic within a dungeon in order to continue progressing it. From the ability standpoint, I'm not really seeing a crazy amount of perks, but there could be something that you get for completing the quest of finding all the relics or benefits to your Gauntlet Runner that I'm not necessarily aware of just yet. But looking at this, I think it's kind of meh, especially when you factor in the fact that you're going to have to get items in order to do it from a few select dungeons that you go into. So these are Galaga's follower abilities. I think the main one to key into is going to be rank 8, where during squad battles you have a chance to gain an extra turn icon. And I also think it's worth mentioning that she's going to be fully progressed through the main story, so upgrading her is something you're not going to be able to do at your own pace, but it's also on the flip side going to be something you're not going to be able to miss since she's being upgraded with the story. With Moore's follower abilities, majority of these are going to be kind of quality of life things. So with rank 4, the ability Forecast, this is going to allow you to preview the abilities of all the followers within the main menu, but that's what this video is doing for you right now, so you don't even have to worry about unlocking that. And then I suppose at rank 8, archetype Evangelist, I'm stupid. Evangelist, you're able to, well, whatever, you're able to increase the archetype stat bonus by +3 while channeling it. That can be cool, I guess, but do you really want to have to invest in getting this to rank 8 just for that? Now, in order to rank up more as a follower, you're going to have to invest in studying various archetypes and ranking them up to certain thresholds, and basically completing the quest that he gives you to continue progressing him. The last one we have is going to be the Berserker's follower abilities, and the only one that I have highlighted here is going to be rank 2, Beast Scent, and this is going to increase the evasion when you're attacked by a beast or a human monster. The same methodology I gave for Stroll being strong and increasing crit rate, I feel like I could apply here, but I could argue that maybe crit rate is going to be stronger to have increased than evasion. But I mean, if you evade an attack, you're going to make them lose turn icons. So I feel like a strong argument could be made for this specific rank, but this is going to be another playable character, which, like I keep mentioning, you're going to want to get to rank anyways for said rewards that I've been redacting. So that's going to be the abilities of all the followers, but make sure you check out this video right here, where I go into 15 different tips that are going to significantly improve your playthrough with Metaphor ReFantazio. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.